Hey there folks, this is Pop Culture, I'm Alex Pop, and I'm bringing out this video today to celebrate the 40th birthday of my favorite online movie reviewer. Obviously you all know his name. I mean, if you happen to stumble across my channel with just north of 300 subscribers, you know this YouTube giant. Jeremy Jahns got started on YouTube all the way back in 2009 when Transformers Revenge of the Fallen pissed him off so much that he had to get on camera to express himself.
Transformers 2.
Since then, Jeremy has gained over 1.7 million subscribers and became well known for his energy, his fast-paced editing style that no one could duplicate if they tried, his hilarious ways of demonstrating things that happen in the movie, his very unique rating system, and for having the two cutest puppies ever. He's emerged as one of the most popular movie reviewers on the web, if not the most popular. One of the biggest starstruck moments of my life was 2 years ago when I met the guy at a press screening of A Quiet Place, and we've run into each other a few times since. He says in his channel description, "If I make you laugh, I've done my job," and over the course of the 7 years that I've been following him, he has most certainly done that. So today I wanted to count down 15 instances where this man's uncanny sense of humor got me. Now I normally censor swear words on my channel, but it's going to be kind of tricky here knowing that the S word is part of one of Jeremy's movie ratings. So I'm going to leave all of the S words unbleeped this one time, so if you care, there's your warning. So without further ado, here are the top 15 funniest Jeremy Jahns moments. Number 15. Starting off the list is in a review where Jeremy had a cold at the time. No, it's not the face he makes when introducing the movie, it's the impression he does at the end of the review.
Crimson Peak.
Cool thing is, when I have a cold, I sound like the Joker.
My father was a drinker and a fiend, and one night he goes off crazier than usual. Mommy gets the kitchen knife to defend herself. He doesn't like that. Not one bit.
Jeremy's got a lot of great impressions. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Alex Jones, Two-Face, Eustace from Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But that one of the Joker I find to be his funniest, mostly because of just how naturally it seems to come out. Number 14. The most amusing of Jeremy's ratings is A Good Time If You're Drunk, usually assigned to a movie that's just okay.
For the Belko experiment, I will say it'd be a better time if you're drunk. Yeah, no, it's a party.
And sometimes, after that usual line from Drunk Jeremy, he'll add another remark.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be a lot better if you're drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. I'm gonna play Turtles in Time. It's the best hack and slash game ever. In the end, this movie probably would have been a better time if I were drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. Can you smash the like button, please?
And I did, because that rating for Captain Marvel is fair. But this, however, has to be my favorite variation of the rating.
Need for Speed. But in the end, Need for Speed isn't terrible, it's just not good enough to be good. Because what I'm trying to say is Need for Speed is probably a fun time if you're over the limit. Yeah, now it's a part. This is Jeremy Jahns here to tell you do not drive if you're feeling the need for speed. Doing my part to be responsible.
Number 13.
Alright, the Lego movie was a surprisingly good movie, so now we have Lego Batman. Oh my god, my hands. What's wrong with me? The Lego Batman movie. Alright, seriously, change me back. This can't happen the whole time. This review would take a year to do in Lego, so it's not going to, so change me back. Oh, thank God. Ladies, I don't know what that was, but that has never happened to me before.
How did he manage to find the perfect Lego face, hair, and body to make the minifigure version of himself? I bet if I tried that, the best I could probably come up with is, well, the generic Lego face. You know, Emmett's face. Number 12. Back in 2011, Jeremy pulled a screamer on us, and I didn't mind at all.
Insidious. Now, the main difference between this and Paranormal Activity is that it shows the demon. Now, at first, it's all subtle. Things are in the background, behind curtains and whatnot, and then it shows the demon, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was like, holy shit, it's Darth Maul. I'm sure you've heard that before, but come on, it's Darth Maul.
Man, horror movies these days could really take some notes from Jeremy. Jump scares are effective when you don't see them coming. Seriously, I was in the break room at Safeway when I first saw that review, and I had headphones on and everything. I nearly had to run home to change my pants before getting back to work. Once I had cooled down after freaking out, I just had to laugh. Jeremy, you cheeky little genius. Number 11. One of the top examples of Jeremy's hilarious ways of acting out something in the movie.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The destruction of the island aside, there were some moments on that island where there's a dinosaur and you don't see it, and then there's this flash of light and it's there. It's like the background's dark, you see a flash of light, something's there, and the person still doesn't know what's going on, then another flash of light's a little closer. Fun monster movie stuff right there.
Knowing that he was talking about the lightning flashes revealing the T-Rex, the fact that he used that method to describe such a scary scene had me rolling. And I gotta say, even though Jeremy wasn't totally fond of Fallen Kingdom, one of the other things I liked about his review is that while other reviewers dismissed the debate in the movie, insisting that the dinosaurs are monsters and they deserve to die, Jeremy points out what so many of them failed to see.
There were actually a couple of attempts of moral dilemma I appreciated. Didn't always stick the landing, but I appreciated that they went there. In fact, I would argue this Jurassic Park movie does best what other Jurassic Park movies just talked about, which is the fact that these dinosaurs are not monsters, they're just animals. They're animals like lions, like bears, like any other animal that we have in our world in our time. And I know Alan Grant has that conversation with Lex in the first Jurassic Park movie, but actions speak louder than words. You can talk about it or you can show it. And I felt like this movie showed that premise very well.
Yes, I know I'm getting kind of off topic, but I take whatever chance I can get to defend that movie. Hashtag Avenge the Fallen Kingdom. Number 10. When a movie's bad enough that it makes it into your worst movies of the year list, you get a second opportunity to make a joke that you didn't make in your initial review because you hadn't thought of it yet.
The Legend of Hercules. Not only was everything terrible and the entire movie set them back, I don't know, $500. But once that $500 budget was expended, once it was gone, you can tell they tried to make do, but they just couldn't. I know this because a guy got hit by a spear and he did the tuck the spear under the arm thing. The worst part is the camera was on the side of his body where he was tucking the spear under his arm.
Now what takes number 10 on this list is in Jeremy's Worst Movies of 2014 video. He placed The Legend of Hercules at number 1 and brought up that spear under the arm blunder again. The way he makes fun of it this time is fabulous.
The fights were even nonsense. That scene where a dude gets stabbed and tucks the spear under his arm facing the camera. They were this way, yeah, he could have faked it and you'd be like, I think he tucked it under his arm, but yeah, I don't know for sure. But when he gets like this and tucks it, you might as well just look at the camera and be like, no, 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 no.
Number 9. The alternate title Jeremy gives this movie is brilliant enough, but it's also how he finds that this movie is the ultimate contradiction of the two wrongs make a right thesis.
50 Shades of Socially Acceptable Porn that your girlfriend's gonna insist she's allowed to watch even after she made you delete your entire digital stash. I know, it's completely unfair, the hypocrisy. You know, it's increasingly apparent that mathematics do not apply to the literary world. Example, mathematics tell us a negative and a negative equal a positive. Literary world, if you have a shitty author take inspiration from another shitty author, it doesn't make a positive movie, it doesn't make a good movie, it just makes shit. It's shit inspired by shit, which creates more shit. It's all negative. No math, no logic. Why are we here?
Beats me, Jeremy. I just pray that we never go back. Though I think we already did, since we're still in the midst of getting the after movies. Number 8. Hardly anyone saw Terminator Dark Fate, so fortunately for them, they missed out on seeing John Connor get shot dead in the first 2 minutes. And we find out later that over the course of the following decades, the Terminator that killed John just wandered the world and eventually grew a conscience all on his own, even starting a family and a drapery business. In Jeremy's spoiler talk video for the movie, he gives us his own little revised edition of the first Terminator movie in accordance with what we know from Dark Fate.
This Terminator kills John Connor, and then the unexpected happens. he feels bad about it. Because that's totally how they work, right?
Just let me go.
Listen and understand that Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead. And then after you're dead, it might feel bad about it. Maybe even start a family. Look, it's weird. I know. But that's how they're gonna write movies in your future.
That's just so on point. Number 7. There are no funny expressions or reenactments or anything in this one. It's just Jeremy talking and analyzing. But the way that he tries to make sense of something so nonsensical and is so cool while doing it, it cracks me up every time.
Texas Chainsaw 3D. And there is a time paradox too, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974. I always assumed the movie took place in 1974. People certainly dressed like the 70s in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it shows flashbacks at the beginning of this movie, and everyone is from the 70s because of stock footage of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Alright, now the main chick in this movie looks about 19 years old, so we'll say this is 19 years later, otherwise known as the early 90s. Is it the early 90s though? Is it really? Because there's a scene where a cop is walking through the house with his gun and a smartphone. So there are a couple of options here. 1, the main chick in this movie is about 40 years old. Probably not. 2, they had smartphones in the early 90s. Probably not. Or 3, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie now takes place in the early 90s, in which everyone dresses like the 70s and the 90s. Actually, I think that was a thing. People did dress like the 70s and the 90s. But they didn't do that until the mid to late 90s. But you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. Why? Because I don't want to think about it anymore. Why? Because no one should ever think about Texas Chainsaw 3D as much as I already have.
And I won't even try, Jeremy. Though in the movie's defense, it's not hard to believe that Alexandra Daddario will still look that way when she's 40. Just look at her now at 34. My gosh, those eyes. Number 6. Upon his first viewing of Suicide Squad, Jeremy was one of the few critics who really enjoyed it.
Most importantly, this movie was a lot of fun, a lot of kick-assery, a lot of likability, a lot of banter with some really cool characters. And I will say Suicide Squad is definitely worth watching and definitely worth buying on Blu-ray.
It wasn't one of his best received videos. Several top comments say things like, "The video's over and I'm still waiting for the review to start." Speaking as someone who didn't like Suicide Squad, you're seriously going to say that he didn't review the movie simply because he didn't blindly go along with the crowd?
Are you here to hear me validate your opinion on a movie, or at least validate what you hope a movie is going to be? Or are you here to hear my honest opinion on a movie? And am I here to see validation in the comments section? Or am I here to give you my honest opinion on a movie? Hopefully it's the honest opinion one, because that's all I can give you, and that's what this is.
Nevertheless, it's apparent that Jeremy's opinion on the movie had considerably changed somewhere down the line, because in his spoiler review for Deadpool 2, he gives the video a time-traveling twist, and realizes that maybe he can fix some things on his channel.
But fixing a timeline is the purest of motivations. If we could fix a timeline, like any of us would... It's the same device. You think I could? Oh, maximum effort. I have to try. A lot of banter with some really cool characters. And I will say Suicide Squad is... What the... Sick. Okay, so I did buy this movie on Blu-ray, and it took me a couple of rum and cokes to get through. Sorry, I've never seen a human head detached from a body before. It took me a couple of rum and cokes to get through it, so I will say it's probably a better time if you're drunk. Yeah, no, it's a party. Oh, look how young I look. That is unsettling. Other than the fact that I'm actually really concerned now because I'm afraid of disappearing, because that was my past self. Am I going to get Marty McFly here? No? All right. I think it's time to... I can't look at it. All right, I think it's time to go. But, chin up! We go back to a bright and better tomorrow, where I never have to hear about this shit again! All right, let's see if that works. I'll say Suicide Squad is definitely worth watching and definitely worth buying on Blu-ray. Multiverse. Well, whatever. Had to try.
Jeremy, everyone knows, if you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future. Number 5. In 2013, Liam Hemsworth became the butt of so many jokes because of his goofy running in the movie Paranoia. Jeremy was one of the ones who brought the most attention to it.
Best part of the movie by far is when Victor Von Doom from the shitty Fantastic Four movies is gonna kill Liam Hemsworth. Hemsworth decks him and then runs away all like, If I were Hemsworth, that would be my main concern right there. Not the fact that I'm probably gonna die, not the fact that these really powerful people are gonna snuff me behind a dumpster or something, but the fact that the security cameras certainly picked me up running like that, and that's gonna go viral on YouTube. Titled, Dude Runs Away Like a Fairy Princess After Almost Getting Killed. I'd watch that video. I would favor and like and comment on that video. Just comment like, hey Von Doom, if you want to catch him, leave the tooth that you just lost from him decking you under your pillow. He'll come that night.
You know, it's amazing. Because of this review, when you start to search Dude Runs Away Like a Fairy Princess After Almost Getting Killed, it actually appears in the suggestions. It's been searched that much. Sadly, though, it doesn't take you to that scene from Paranoia. Your first results are movie clips from The Princess Bride. Number 4. The effervescent joy that was heard around the world when the 50 Shades of Grey movies finally ended. Jeremy's had to have been the loudest. Every once in a while, throughout his review, he can't resist taking another second to celebrate, and who could blame him?
It pleases me to no end to tell you that the 50 Shades trilogy is now over! It's over! "50 Shades Freed." So 50 Shades Freed is the concluding chapter to the 50 Shades trilogy, cause it's over! Composure. That's what it is. They're Twilight characters, but they're career-based adults. They're not. Everything from their communication to their volatile emotions just shows that they are high school students. Thank God it's over now. Did I mention it's over now? I guess I should talk about the acting. The acting's terrible. It's just not better. And you know, I mean, bless them. The cast in here, man, they're there for the paycheck. And good for them. They got their paycheck. They never have to do another one of these movies because, that's right, it's over now. For them. 50 Shades Freed took 2 hours out of my life. I could not tell you which of these movies is the worst one. All I can say is it's painful, it's horrible, it's useless, the relationship's toxic, and 50 Shades Freed is, in fact, dog shit. But hey, at least it's over. It's over. Ever ugly cry because something horrible's over?
Number 3. Yet another instance of Jeremy demonstrating something that goes on in the movie. This one is freaking legendary. I'll just let it speak for itself.
Paranormal Activity, the ghost dimension. Because the dude finds this magic camera that can see the ghosts, so now you just get to see everything. It's in 3D, and so that's the gimmick of the movie. You know, in the first Paranormal Activity movie, when the shit's going down, the girl was like, I hear something, and you hear this, and her hair blows, and you're like, oh my god, the thing was like right next to her, and I didn't know that. In this movie, the same thing would kind of happen, but you would see it. You'd be like, yeah, honey, the Christmas tree, it looks really nice. I really like the colors. I like the color scheme. And I like it. I think this is going to be a good... Oh my god. I felt something. So strange. What was it? It's just dumb. When you see it, it just takes away the tension.
Number 2. I often find that YouTubers are funniest when they do something totally unexpected, like some anomaly that's completely out of their style. This is the epitome of that.
Annabelle. I started driving home and I started deconstructing Dark Tumnus. I was like, wait a minute, Dark Tumnus wasn't actually the demon that was latched onto the doll in The Conjuring. This is a prequel to The Conjuring. Why does the demon look different? Is the demon different? I think the demons are all sitting around like, hey, you mind if I use the doll today? No, it's fine. Go ahead. Okay, it's just gonna, just this one family. You can get the next family, because you look creepy too. All right, I'm gonna go now. Okay. You gonna play some Destiny? You can play some Destiny if you want. You don't have to wait for me. I mean, we can play Destiny when I get back. No, I traded mine in. I got bored already. Is that what they do? Is that where we're at in this whole franchise?
Oh my gosh, I was in stitches all afternoon. One time when I was talking with Jeremy, he told me about how he made that cartoon. I remember him saying that he messed around with some shapes and stuff in Adobe Flash. He said that one 20-second cartoon took the amount of time that it takes to make the average video of his. I hope you found it to be worth it, Jeremy, because it is a masterpiece. Number 1. Still not done talking about these movies. The number one funniest Jeremy Jahns moment is...
50 Shades Darker.
And I'm not talking just one certain joke from this video. His entire review of 50 Shades Darker is golden. It is beautiful the way that he talks about his contempt for this particular 50 Shades movie, and in the meantime speaking on behalf of everyone who's ever had to suffer through one of these abominations. So here's just a compilation of snippets from his review. First thing you see is this totally accurate thumbnail, and from there, it's modern art all the way through.
No. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. The thumbnail of this video, it's real. It actually happened because this movie made me a f***ing bitch. Let's just review it. The quicker we do it, the quicker I don't have to think about it anymore. In this movie, Christian and Anna, that's their names. F***ing weird that I know that. They're not dating anymore because in the last movie they're not dating. And then they run into each other and she's like, yeah, sure, I'll take you back. Let's bang. Which makes her the biggest cinematic idiot ever. Maybe it's the biggest literary idiot ever, but that would imply that the book is literature rather than toilet paper is what it is. Then things happen throughout the movie that don't actually affect the movie at all. Right down to the part, this happens in the movie. I swear to God, I'm not even making this up. He has to go in his helicopter and go in a meeting somewhere in Portland, Oregon. So he gets into his helicopter. He's flying. The helicopter goes down. He's missing for about 2 minutes. It's on the news. And she's like, oh my gosh. And her friends are like, we'll find him, I swear. And then the news is like, hey, he's been found. And that moment he walks in like, hey, what'd I miss? And it did nothing. It did nothing for the plot. It did nothing for the movie. It did nothing for the story. It did nothing for the characters. If they had any gracious bone in their body whatsoever, they would have cut that part out, made the movie about 5 minutes shorter. I'll take all I can get. 5 minutes would have meant the world to me. It is painful in ways you don't even want to think about, and it steals a part of your soul. The movie's literally the plot is these people just date and and by I mean not even interesting. Hi, Mom. My mom watches my videos. That's awkward. No, once again, we have some nice lovemaking and such. When I got home, I was turning on my lights here to do my video, setting up my camera. I felt like I was setting up a kill room in Dexter. Let's just murder this thing and get it over with. You knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen when I got out of it. Somewhere when I sat down in the movie theater to watch this movie, Agatha, the precog, was like, murder. Because she knew. I walked out of here truly baffled. The only fun part is talking shit when we all walked out of the movie. Everybody, I mean, all the studio reps are around. We're all just talking mad shit about the movie. We're like, they know. Yeah, 50 Shades Darker is not just dog shit. It's dog shit squared.
You know, the only thing that I miss about getting a new 50 Shades movie is the hilarious review from Jeremy that comes with it. So those are my picks for Jeremy Jahns' funniest moments. Be sure to let me know in the comments which reviews of his you remember for making you laugh most. And if you happen to be seeing this, Jeremy, happy 40th birthday to you. And please, if it's not too much to ask for, please never retire.
The things I do for you guys.
That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.